Hello, welcome pen friends. It's time for me to check in with how my pens and inks are working together this month. This is February 2021, and I started out with the 8 Chris's inked pens that I talked about on that video, which I'll link for you. And then I did ink up 2 more. They're right here. One of them is a Pen BBS 309. It's a real pretty piston filler that came in from a pen friend, and it has a neat little Nemosine or Nemosine stub on it. So I couldn't resist. I had to ink that up and see how it wrote. I've really been enjoying that. And then I needed, so it was the pen that drove that decision to ink that one up. And then I needed I wanted some kind of editing ink or a red ink. So I did get out some Colorverse Red Shift to put in a TWSBI Go medium nib. So that's the changes that happen. So that means I've got 10 inked up. And I've already finished the fill on one of the pens. And since this is February, even though I'm not officially participating in InCoWriMo, like I'm not getting new pen pals because I have so many existing, and I do label my envelopes with InCoWriMo because it's the month that it is, but I'm doing really well is all I'm trying to say with writing a letter a day. It's just that I don't think I'll ever catch up, so oh gosh, forgiveness is the word, I guess. But I'm writing a letter every day. And I'm taking notes on 2 books that I'm reading and several different little studies on the side. So the inks are being used, the pens are being used, especially for letter writing, but that's the case, year round here. So I thought we'd just move over to the pen desk and I would, show you how it's going and show myself how it's going. It's a moment to just pause and think about maybe why I'm not reaching for 1 or 2 of them as much. And the one that I was going to say, why did I finish the fill on one? Well, I know why, because it doesn't have a very big converter. But that's so funny because there's a whole story behind that one. But it'll help me if I don't ink up anymore and I stick to this and I go ahead and clean out the ones that empty, then it'll not force me, but it will encourage me to use what I have inked up. Because I have the new TWSBI Smoke Eco Black. I said that all wrong, but the new pen that just came in this week, but I am waiting because I really want to savor that. And I've got all 10 of these inked up, which for me is, it's pushing the line there, being able to keep up with it. I don't want anything drying out or being neglected. So let's move over to the pen desk. My brain is pretty slow. It's cold for here. It's nothing compared to how it was where I grew up, but I just can't get over it. Either it's because I'm getting older, or it's just really, maybe it's a combination of the fact that this winter it's wild. It's different than ever, and it feels different. It feels really all the way down to my feet, I feel cold. Hey, Willie. And of course, Willie is in most of the time. He's not very happy. He has not figured out. Willie is one of my cats, for anybody that doesn't know that. He just can't figure out why the heat is not on out there. I mean, he looks back at me from the porch like, what's going on? My home is not warm enough. So, okay, we'll switch over now and we'll get to the business of checking into how these pens are going. Whoops. Okay, so this is where the report card will go when it gets to be the 1st of March and I choose my new inks at the end of that video. Then I'll give you the actual report, what the grade I gave and my notes and everything. But this is just our mid-month check-in. So we talked about these 2. I've got KWZ Standard Monarch in the Pen BBS 309. And that has the Nemosine 0.8 nib. And then in the TWSBI, the Colorverse Red Shift in a medium nib. So I'm probably not going to go in order here. I'm going to go ahead and pick out the ink, or the one that I finished the fill. And that is the Pilot Vanishing Point with the medium nib with the gunmetal rhodium finish. Now, I love this pen, and I'm gradually getting inks that go well with it. This ink, if I had to grade it right now today, I'd give it a B. it looks great. It's perfect. And if I'm just patient enough, then it's flowy enough for letters. But I write really fast, and that's something that has affected how things go with not just this pen. So maybe I need to slow down. But this is a fairly saturated, thick ink, but it is very flowy. It's the, oh, I didn't write down that it was the Pannonia. It's the Kekfini Blue Light, but it's Pannonia is the brand name, just like the other one. So I have written with this several letters, 1 page anyway per letter. I usually use a variety of inks and stuff, and this sample came from Venice. So I'd give it a B, maybe a B+. I'm not going to refill it though, because my memory of a Monteverde ink and also a Bunga Box ink went better in this pen. It's a nice juicy medium nib. Some people would even say that it might write more like a broad. And it showed off the sheen and the, what do you call it, shading really well. But I got frustrated because it just a slight amount, it would have a couple of hard starts, very little bit, but I'm so fussy because I write so much with TWSBIs, I guess, that don't normally give me any trouble. Although, yeah, got one doing that this month. But anyway, okay, so I'm going to put that pen aside because that'll be one that we probably don't write with. The rest of them still have ink, so let me get the other notebook out. Well, first I was going to show you, yeah, I had splatted around with that Colorverse Red Shift to see whether it was really the color I wanted, and oh, it is. It's just nice. It's some personal editing that I'm doing and some writing that I did, and I'm just enjoying it so much. It's not actually, like, it probably looks a little more intense red with the lighting here, but it's not quite maroon, but it's so deep red that it doesn't act like you know, it doesn't act like this kind of red, like a G2 red, where it's just, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. My brain, it won't warm up, I guess, and we have the heat on 70, so I don't know what's going on. I guess it's because I'm used to like 78 in here, so I'm just going to use that as an excuse. It's ridiculous, but okay. And then what else? Was there anything? No, I'm just ready for the next phase here. Okay, so let's just see. Probably be some surprises myself in all of this. So I have the pens in their tray, and I have all of the little tiles in case we need to refer to them. The first one was the Diatramenis Alexander Hamilton, and that is in the Conklin. And I'm not really doing this in any specific way. I just kind of want to remind myself, so I will do a little writing with each one. Also, if they've sat here for a day or, you know, half a day, it's good sometimes to catch them off guard. So this is the Conklin Durograph with a medium Goulet nib. Whoops. Wow. Nothing quite like it not having focus, is there? Come on now. And I've done well with this, except that I'm not reaching for it quite as much. And I know why. It's because it doesn't have broad nib on it. This could easily move over, though, to my note-taking, to this little pen case here. I've got this going. And if it moves over here, then it'll get used more. I'm even using up a fill in a little Pilot Varsity. So I feel like this is the Noctilula, which is probably one of the videos I'll tag on this one so you can see it. This is a very dark purple, and in this medium nib, it kind of almost looks black to me. I believe I enjoyed this ink a little bit better in a broad nib. But, so, okay, so that's one. Now, this next one, I just can't get enough of it. It is the Genhao X750 with a broad Yowo nib, I think. Yeah, it has the Yowo nib. Well, the Goulet ones are too, but I always tell you if it's a Goulet branded. So this is Genhao X750. I love this nib and I love this ink. It's just been really wonderful. It's the Lavender Pinkly. I was saying it wrong last time. I was saying Pinky, and it's P-I-N-K-L-Y, Pinkly. It's just real flowy and it's beautiful, and I've used it in a lot of letters already. In fact, let's check in on the fill and see. Well, halfway, because I had it completely filled up. So that's good because we're halfway through the month, and I do intend to keep writing with this. Okay, so excellent. Right now it would be an A+. Let's see what it is at the end of the month. Now this one I've already evaluated and told you how much I love it. Whoops, I left that open that whole time in the pen case. Oh well, I guess it ought to be pouring out then. Let's see what happens. This is the TWSBI VAC 700R Iris, which I'm just in love with, and I carried over from last month. Yeah, it's flowing right out. But I did decide not to refill it again because it's not fair to some of the pens that aren't getting used. What I will do is clean it, and it might even show up for March. That's fine, but with a different ink. I mean, we got to at least pass the love around a little bit. The broad nib. And it's one of my favorite inks. Bunga Box Lamont. I can't even spell today. So everything is just so pleasing about this. It's a wet writer. It's a broad nib. It's excellent for letter writing, and I just love it. I love looking at it too, so I can't say that enough, but I probably should give some other pens a chance. Now this pen kind of surprises me. It's possible, I mean, most TWSBIs, I've never had anything quite like this. Let's see whether it'll do it for you. It might not. I won't even say anything. I'll just give it another chance here. This is the TWSBI Diamond 580 in the rose with a 1.1 stub nib on it. Okay, so that could be how I held it, but it's doing that where it doesn't start where I want it to start. But with my vision and everything, it's highly possible I just wasn't holding it right. And fussy, I mean, I don't know why I'm so fussy. Okay, so it never has given me problem past that first little bit there. And I think if I just hold it right. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think it's hopping from, you know, the steel broad nib to the stub nib, where you do need to pay attention and not write so fast and hold it right. Otherwise, I'm getting the top edges looking kind of funny. Okay, and this is a beautiful ink. It's, isn't that funny? It doesn't even look like itself. Lavender Shiraz. Okay, as I'm looking at it here under this light, it doesn't look like itself. See, this is what it looks like on the card. Huh. I'm beginning to think I'm going crazy, but I know I'm not, and I know I'm not sick either. I know what it is. You know, when I was younger, when it would get cold like this, it was like the dead coming back to life. I was just full of energy and zip and everything. I could do everything I wanted. Well, now, and I'm only 57, but now it's when it gets warm, then I'm just full of it and I can do everything, and oh, it's irritating me. It's such a change. I don't really understand. So I'm not reaching for this one as much. Let's see. Yeah, I've hardly used, well, I've used a little bit of the fill. Hello, Willie, you back in? Ooh, it must be raining. Willie's coat is wet. Dad let you back in, that's good. Okay, so next was the TWSBI Go with a broad nib. And this has the other Pannonia ink, and I have used this a lot for the letter writing. I'd have to give it at least an A at this, but maybe an A+. TWSBI Go broad nib. I'm just going to put a question mark here because I don't know if it's me or the ink or, you know, I have looked at the nib really well and I think it's okay. But back to this one. And this is the clear TWSBI Go. And this is the Megs or Meggies Sour Cherry. I love this ink. And this nib, this TWSBI broad nib is perfect for it. Whoops. Let's see. I don't know if we can get the right angle, but I can see that that's really wet on there. Right there. I guess you can see too a little bit. Okay, so it's that one. Yeah, this would have to be an A. This would have to be an A+. This would have to be an A+. There's going to be some tying going on between those. Okay, then next up is the TWSBI Diamond 580. I think this is the broad nib unit. Yeah, this was the broad nib unit with the Mont Blanc ink. Whoops, I just shifted everything like, okay. Okay, I can hear Manuel getting the truck warmed up. I never thought I'd ever say that. Warming up the truck in Texas, or South Texas. Oh my goodness. But that truck was born in New Hampshire, so it knows what to do. TWSBI Diamond 580. Broad. See, that's not as broad. That's one thing that I do get a little bit, like, I don't understand. Tell me that it's broad, and then they're not the same broad. Maybe it's the ink too, though. I better be quiet. I'm just losing it because I'm mad about the weather. Oh my gosh, I don't know if this video is even publishable. This is Mont Blanc Psychedelic Purple. And you know, it's got quite a bit of ink in it, but I have used it down a little. See, I have too many going, but I can definitely see that now I'm going to clean this one out. I was writing every single letter, a portion of it, with this one, with the vanishing point. So that'll free me up to reach for these, especially this one, the TWSBI Go, and knowing that I have a half a fill left in the Jen Howe, that's really good too. Okay, so I got a ways to go here.
It's 2 p.m.
2 p.m. He's going for food at a funny hour. Okay, okay. So this is the Lamy Safari in the dark Lamy, dark lilac. Good grief, and broad Lamy nib. This is excellent. I think I'm trying to hoard this sample ink, and I don't understand it. So I haven't reached for this as much, and it's crazy. Why not? So that's why I'm here. I'm trying to examine, you know, some of these habits and see what the last 2 weeks of the month ought to be like. And I can definitely see, you know, kind of rotating better and finishing the fill on some of these. This is Lamy Dark Lilac. But that's definitely an A, whether or not I have, you know, it seems that must be that pinky stays in my mind, and it's new, so it's like Chris with a new toy, and then of course the new pen with the old favorite ink. But this is just gorgeous. I mean, actually, I'll tell you the truth. What I thought about was I should just go ahead and put a fine nib on this and switch this right over to my note-taking pen case, because I would use it and it would last longer too, the fill. If I'm not going to pick it up for letter writing, then why not just do that? So I think I'll do that. I'm going to put that over with the Pilot. Okay, so then the last two are ones that we didn't do this last time. Oh, the little Red Shift, which is in here. This is how it came from Pen Friend KS, I think. Let's do that one first. Okay, I don't know. Maybe we can make it a little closer since you haven't yet to see that. It's a medium nib, so it's probably not going to fill this square in quite as easily, but TWSBI Go, medium nib. It's the Sapphire. I really hope that, okay, I don't know if I've spelled correctly. I really hope they make some more colors on the TWSBI Go's, because it's the broad nib that I really love, and I'd like to have like purple, pink, red. Come on, TWSBI. And this is such an affordable pen. Okay, Colorverse Red Shift. This is working out great for what I wanted it for, which was just highlighting And, oh, look at that. Hey, that's a better way to look at things, because that's nice and wet going on there. This is Tomoe River 68 GSM paper. Totally happy with that, and I'm going to put that back in the NOC Tallulah. Whoops, that needs a good cleaning. And then last but not least, the Pen Friend gift. Whoops, are we in focus? The Pen BBS 309 piston filler. It's very pretty, and it made me kind of think of putting the KWZ Standard Monarch. Just something about that color there. Just made me think of it. So let's see, we're way down there, and I do need to try to hold it properly, but I'm not good at that. So okay, so this is Pen BBS 309. Get it going here. This has been so reliable and just smooth, and the nib is really neat. I had my eye on this once before because I think it was Pen Friend Nancy, or there's somebody else too who talked about these, and I almost got one, but I guess I talked myself out of the order because I can go so crazy with ink, and I think it's Birmingham that had these, but I could be all mistaken. I didn't check. Okay, this is KWZ Standard Monarch, and it's a Fonto Plumo exclusive, and I knew that I wanted to see this ink in here. It's one of my favorites, and I just understand this ink. Like, I knew that there wouldn't really be any surprises. Gosh, I should have kept it zoomed for more of the video. It would have been a little bit better, but live and learn. I guess it's a wonder this video is happening, because I've just been having so much trouble with myself getting moving and facing a camera. Oh, mercy. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Let's see. Okay, that's it. And then we can go back and I've scrambled all the pens, but I am going to clean this one out, change the nib on the Lamy, so that goes over to the sink. And then, well, that'll make room here, but I'm actually carrying them right now in the pen case that disappeared. Oh my goodness. Huh. Oh, here it is. I put them in my NOC Sinclair just for moving about the house. I have to keep everything really contained because I've got the 3 cats inside right now, almost 24/7. So it's been really interesting. Manuel actually had to drag a bookshelf over in front of one of the doors that they like to kind of bang on at night because they want attention. And at night is the coldest when we could have a freeze, and I don't want, any cats to be harmed. So, oh, I can't wait for the regular Texas weather to come back. I never thought I'd ever say that. So hopefully this was some help to you as well. Even just in the idea that we can kind of slow down and look at what we're writing with and why, and kind of look at our habits. Are we actually finishing or half using up any of the ink, and how's it going? But there's no duds here. There's just nothing that's going wrong. I need to hold that pen right, and it's the only stub other than the little Nemosine, but the Nemosine doesn't seem to have as much of a sweet spot in terms of how to hold it. So that could be what it is with the Diamond 580. I haven't had that nib very long either, so that's something for me to really take that pen aside and check into it and see what's going on. I hope things are going really well for you with your writing too, and I'll see you in the next video. I am really wanting to show you how I'm going with the well, some people call it junk journal. I'm calling it a scrapbook sort of thing in the composition book. I did a video a little while back about following or taking Mary up on the challenge, and I'm planning to show you how it's coming along. I'm filling that notebook up, sort of, not completely yet, but it's really fun. So I'll see you next time. Hope you're staying warm and safe. Bye for now.